Hey, Mark J, World's Laziest Networker, coming to you here from beautiful Kauai, Hawaii. Mahalo for checking it out. I'm going to settle the debate for once and for all about this sponsor up. Now, let me say what I really feel. Sponsor up nonsense, because that's exactly what it is. I want to share a discovery with you that I made in 1994 that changed my business on the spot. It took it from this direction of struggling to it being really easy. Well, the truth is, it's what put us here. And very rarely in this business do you get one piece of information that makes a dramatic change. So I'm going to share with you an incredible piece of information at the end of this video. But let me tell you the story of the discovery first. My up team was really responsible. He's actually the one that taught me build the list with him, and I see that mistake over and over and over and over again. People assigning list building, build the list with them. You'll get about 200 to 400% more names, but we'll leave that for another blog. So I'm sitting at the table and I write out the list, and he looks at the list. He's asking me different tickler name questions. And he says, you know, Mark, I know you're delivering seafood and you sort of have a route and you're sort of in a cocoon, but certainly you know a few more people than this in the seafood business and the restaurant business. I said, yeah, I do, but you know, they're 25-year-old kids. All they care about is happy hour, blowing a bone, you know, getting to the Golden Banana, some strip joint. Their whole life's around that. He said, well, what about in your town? I said, it's a lot of the same thing. They're just those 25-year-old kids that are now 45 years old and they're still drinking at, you know, their whole life is around happy hour. And, you know, there are some of them just don't have any ambition. He said, would it be okay if I asked you a question about that? And I said, sure. And this question changed my life. He said, don't you think your ego is so incredibly enormous right now that all of these people that you have labeled as losers or wouldn't do this, he said, don't you think it's kind of egotistical to think that you're the only person that they know that would do this business and do it successfully? And my mouth went, and it hit me. And from that point on, I talked to everybody. Now, the problem, of course, is time. You can't spend 45 minutes with everybody that you think can do this business. But the old debate about sponsor up, okay, or only sponsor or talk to anybody that can fog a mirror, I'm in that second group, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's just take a walk down here, and let's say these represent people that don't have too much on the ball or whatever. So actually talk to a guy, and I'd say this pretty much represented his life. We went for a cup of coffee. See, the trick is if you have the skill, which you can get right down there, that in less than 30 seconds, they're ready to buy and ready to join your next suggestion and sit down with you, you can tap their list. So this guy here leads me to a woman named Susan, who leads me to a guy named Peter. And just by digging a little deeper into his list, this is what we discover. Virtually $1 million earner that made so much money in network marketing and so much money for me that he was able to become a .com giant. I wish I had gone with him in that one. But if we were to take you back here, you'd find hundreds and hundreds of these. But where do they start? They start right here, probably with someone you're never going to talk to. But I talk to everybody because it only takes 30 or 35 seconds once you have the skill. So here's that piece of information about sponsoring up to settle the debate and why you should talk to everybody. It's really simple. This is huge if you get this. The reality is, if you're thinking about sponsoring up, I'm only going to talk to highfalutin salespeople and all that kind of stuff, which, by the way, are the highest failure rate in the industry are salespeople. But basically, what you're saying is you're eventually, whether you realize it or not, you're going to be looking for the perfect prospect. He or she simply doesn't exist. How do you create the perfect prospect? It's all about what you say and what you do in the first 30 seconds, so grab that skill, get off the I'm only going to sponsor up, and talk to everybody, because they can lead you into an organization of millions. It's actually what put us here. That entire organization that changed our life was all met through people who most people wouldn't talk to. Really simple. Grab the skill, do the work, and by the way, leave me a comment if you feel like it. Peace.